दोस्तों, हम हमेशा से कहते आ रहे हैं, ट्रक ड्राइवर की ज़िंदगी कोई आसान ज़िंदगी नहीं है। हाईवेज़ पर सैकड़ों हज़ारों किलोमीटर चलते हुए महीनों तक अपने परिवार से दूर रहना कोई आसान काम नहीं है। उसके अलावा पुलिस की गालियाँ खाना, पुलिस के डंडे खाना महज 50-100 रुपये के लिए ये इंसानियत नहीं कहलाई जाती। दोस्तों, परसों आसाम में कुछ उग्रवादियों ने 5 ट्रक ड्राइवरों की हत्या कर दी। ये वही ट्रक ड्राइवर है दोस्तों जो आपके घर तक रोज़ सामान पहुंचाते हैं। ये वो ट्रक ड्राइवर हैं जिनका हमें अंदाज़ा भी नहीं है इनकी क्या अहमियत है हमारे घरों में, हमारे देश की इकॉनमी में। ये ड्राइवर कोल लेकर जा रहे थे, आतंकवादियों ने इन पर हमला बोल दिया। 2 ड्राइवरों की गोलियों से मौत हुई और 3 जलकर राख हो गए। हालत सोचिए उन परिवारों की जिनका शायद बेटा, बाप या पति इस हादसे का शिकार हुए। दोस्तों, हमारी सहानुभूति है उन ड्राइवरों के साथ, उस हर एक ड्राइवर के साथ जो आज सड़क पर चल रहा है, हमारे लिए, आपके लिए। लेकिन कब तक हम इस ड्राइवरों को नज़रअंदाज करते रहेंगे? कब तक दोस्तों? गवर्नमेंट के लिए ड्राइवर एग्जिस्ट भी नहीं करती। हम कब से सुनते आ रहे हैं कि इनके लिए हाईवेज़ पर रेस्ट फैसिलिटीज़ होंगी, सिक्योर जगहें होंगी। कहाँ हैं वो सिक्योर जगहें? क्यों है कि वो जो अफसर है हाईवे पर, उसे ये छूट दी गई है कि वो ट्रक को कहीं पर भी रोक ले और ड्राइवर उससे पैसे वसूल करे? क्यों? दोस्तों, हम अपने घरों में या इस हमारे स्टूडियो में बैठकर हम सिर्फ सहानुभूति दे सकते हैं, लेकिन वो सिपाही है जो हाईवेज़ पर अकेला है। आप उनके लिए एक काम ज़रूर कर सकते हैं, जो 5 ड्राइवर जिनकी मौत हुई है उनकी शांति के लिए एक छोटी सी प्रार्थना कर दें। ट्रांस इंडिया इन ड्राइवर के परिवारों तक पहुंचने की कोशिश करेगा और हम उनके बच्चों का पढ़ाई का सारा खर्चा, जब तक वो पढ़ना चाहे, ट्रांस इंडिया विल टेक केयर ऑफ दैट। फ्रेंड्स, ड्राइविंग अ ट्रक इज़ नॉट ईजी, बीइंग ऑन द हाईवेज़ इज़ नॉट ईजी। इस एपिसोड में आप 2 और ड्राइवरों की कहानी सुनेंगे जो अपने घर से दूर हैं और कैपिटल सिटी में होने के बावजूद उनके पास कोई सुविधा नहीं है। देखिए आगे ट्रांस इंडिया में। वेलकम बैक फ्रेंड्स टू ट्रांस इंडिया, रियल पीपल, रियल इमोशंस। Friends, the last week was a very busy one for the automobile industry, with various associations having their annual conventions. Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers, Automotive Component Manufacturers Association, as well as Federation of Automobile Dealers Association all had their annual conventions, some virtually, some in person. We'll give you a short update on that with more details in our next episode. But first, here's a quick glance of what you will be seeing this week in Trans India.
There's a cutthroat competition. Excess supply of trucks, I don't know whether it is there, but excess supply of transport companies of course is there. We don't believe in idolizing people. We don't make a god out of a person. I am a president, that doesn't mean that I should be present everywhere. Goods have to be moved by different modes, that I agree, by train, by air, by ship and by road. But everything has got its own benefits also. The road transport will always be the leader in all the 4 modes. They are going to lead.
रोड पे ये होता है कि जहाँ हम रुकते हैं वहाँ ढाबे डूबे भी अच्छे होने चाहिए, खाने पीने का भी अच्छा मिलना चाहिए, बाकी दिक्कत ना हो रोड पे चलने के लिए। पानी, खारा पानी कौन पिएगा? खारा पानी कब तक पी लेंगे?
As we told you earlier, the last week was a very important one and a very busy one for the automobile industry, Society of Indian Automobile Manufacturers held its annual convention, and so did Automobile Component Manufacturers Association. Federation of Automobile Dealers Association held its third auto retail conclave. While members of these associations attended the meetings in large numbers, it was heartening to see the government also coming forward to interact with the automobile industry. You had the Transport Minister, Mr. Nitin Gadkari, and the Union Minister of Heavy Industries, Dr. Mahendranath Pandey, attend these meetings virtually as well as in person. Also attending the meetings were Mr. Arun Goel, Secretary, Ministry of Heavy Industries, Mr. Tarun Kapoor, Secretary, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Mr. Tarun Bajaj, Revenue Secretary, Ministry of Finance. The meeting was also attended by Mr. Amitabh Kant, CEO of Niti Aayog, along with Dr. V.K. Saraswat, member of Niti Aayog. दोस्तों, पिछली बार आपने कब देखा था कि इतने गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल्स किसी ट्रांसपोर्ट इंडस्ट्री की मीटिंग अटेंड करते हुए? जहां तक मेरी याददाश्त जाती है, इंडस्ट्री का एक सौभाग्य था कि लेट डॉक्टर APJ अब्दुल कलाम, जब वो देश के राष्ट्रपति थे, उन्होंने AIMTC की मीटिंग अटेंड की थी बेंगलोर में। उसके बाद कई मौक़ों पर ट्रांसपोर्ट मिनिस्टर तो आए, लेकिन पिछले मेरे ख्याल से 2-3 सालों में ट्रांसपोर्ट मिनिस्टर्स ने भी हमारे मीटिंग में आना बंद कर दिया है। और इसका एक कारण ये भी है कि हमारी कोई मीटिंग भी नहीं हुई। AIMTC की लास्ट नेशनल कन्वेंशन जो मुझे याद है, वो 4 साल पहले हुई थी चंडीगढ़ में। What are we missing here? रोड ट्रांसपोर्ट इंडस्ट्री की इतनी दिक्कतें हैं कि हमें एक नेशनल कन्वेंशन शायद हर 6 महीने में करना चाहिए, 1 साल में भी नहीं। लेकिन उसके अलावा ये बहुत ज़रूरी है कि हमारे जो ऑफिस बेरर्स हैं, AIMTC के हो या आयतवा के हो या किसी और एसोसिएशन के हों, वो अपने रीजन में, अपने जुरिस्डिक्शन के अंडर वहाँ के ट्रांसपोर्ट मंत्री से मिलें और गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल से मिलें। हम जब तक गवर्नमेंट से वार्तालाप नहीं करेंगे, हमारे प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व होने वाले नहीं हैं। मेरी ये रिक्वेस्ट है इंडस्ट्री से और साथ ही साथ गवर्नमेंट से कि वो अपने दरवाजे खोले इस इंडस्ट्री के लिए। आज अगर ऑटोमोबाइल सेगमेंट की किसी भी इंडस्ट्री को किसी मंत्री के साथ अपॉइंटमेंट चाहिए होता है, वो तुरंत मिल जाता है। लेकिन ट्रांसपोर्ट इंडस्ट्री ईमेल्स, ट्विटर, फेसबुक, इन्हीं में रह जाता है। बट व्हाई इज इट दैट द ट्रांसपोर्ट इंडस्ट्री हैज़ टू स्ट्रगल to get an appointment with any of the ministers or any of the government officials? We hope things will change and change for the better. दोस्तों, ट्रक ड्राइवर इस ट्रांसपोर्ट इंडस्ट्री का वो अहम हिस्सा है जिसे हमने काफ़ी हद तक नज़रअंदाज कर दिया है। इट इज़ दैट इम्पॉर्टेंट एलिमेंट विच कीप्स द इकोनॉमी ऑफ द कंट्री मूविंग। हमने पहले भी कहा है कि आपके घर तक जो खाना पहुंचता है, आपके फैक्ट्री तक जो रॉ मटेरियल पहुंचता है और वहाँ से जो फिनिश्ड गुड्स निकलते हैं, वो एक ट्रक ड्राइवर ले जाता है। लेकिन हाईवेज़ पर ट्रक ड्राइवर की क्या ज़िंदगी है, क्या दिक्कतें हैं। हाईवेज़ छोड़ दीजिए दोस्तों, सिटीज़ के अंदर क्या फैसिलिटीज़ हैं ट्रक ड्राइवर्स के लिए। हम हाल ही में इंदिरा गांधी इंटरनेशनल एयरपोर्ट के कार्गो टर्मिनल के पास जो पार्किंग यार्ड है ट्रक्स के लिए, वहाँ पर गए थे और हमने कुछ ड्राइवरों से बात की। आपको जानकर हैरानी होगी कि वहाँ पर ड्राइवर्स के लिए कोई सुविधा नहीं है। उन्हें अगर टॉयलेट जाना हो तो पास में झाड़ियों में जाना पड़ता है। पानी पीने की कोई सुविधा नहीं है, नहाने की कोई सुविधा नहीं है। कई ड्राइवर वहाँ पे जो थे वो 1 हफ्ते 10 दिन से उसी पार्किंग यार्ड में थे, इस इंतज़ार में कि उनका ट्रक अब खाली होगा। दोस्तों इमेजिन कीजिए 40 डिग्री की गर्मी में आप दिन भर ट्रक के अंदर बंद हैं, आप खाना भी उसी ट्रक के अंदर पका रहे हैं। क्या ये इंसानियत है? वी टॉक ऑफ ह्यूमैनिटी, बट इज दिस रियली हाउ द ट्रक ड्राइवर्स आर ट्रीटेड? इज दिस ह्यूमन? आइए बात करते हैं इन 2 ट्रक ड्राइवरों से जो आपको बताएंगे इनके पिछले 10 दिन इस पार्किंग यार्ड में कैसे गुजरे हैं।
फैसिलिटी तो अभी तक तो रोड पे कुछ भी नहीं है।
क्या चाहेंगे आप?
रोड पे ये होता है कि जहाँ हम रुकते हैं वहाँ ढाबे डूबे भी अच्छे होने चाहिए, खाने पीने का भी अच्छा मिलना चाहिए, बाकी दिक्कत ना हो रोड पे चलने के लिए।
अब आपकी मेन दिक्कतें क्या है सड़कों पे?
मेन दिक्कत है जैसे अब लॉकडाउन चल रहा था, लॉकडाउन में कभी रोटी मिलती थी कभी खाना मिलता था, फिर अपना बनाना पड़ता था, कई दिक्कतें आई हैं इसमें।
तो अब अभी भी आप ट्रक में ही खाना बनाते हो?
ट्रक में ही बनता अपना।
आप बनाते हो खुद?
हाँ, वो लड़का खड़ा है साथ में।
क्या क्या खाते हो आप ट्रक में?
जो सब्जी मिल जाए वो खा लेते हैं, हरी सब्जी।
अच्छा, सेहत का ख्याल रखते हो अपना?
और पूरा।
आपके घर पे कौन कौन है?
मेरे मम्मी पापा हैं।
अच्छा,
बच्चे हैं।
पापा क्या करते हैं?
पापा घर पे ही खेती बाड़ी करते हैं।
खेती बाड़ी? तो पंजाब में?
हिमाचल।
हिमाचल कहाँ पे?
कांगड़ा में।
कांगड़ा में? अच्छा, मैं हूँ सोलन से।
अच्छा, शिमला सोलन।
हाँ, शिमला सोलन। तो घर कितने टाइम में आप जाते हो?
घर चले जाते हैं चौथे 5वें महीने में।
चौथे 5वें महीने में? तब तो सड़कों पे ही। घर वाले मिस करते हैं आपको, याद करते हैं?
और फ़ोन रखे हैं ना इतने बड़े बड़े, वीडियो कॉलिंग कर लेते हैं।
बच्चे कितने हैं आपके?
लड़का लड़की 2 हैं।
स्कूल जाते?
अभी बंद है ना सब कुछ।
अच्छा, अभी तो बंद है।
लॉकडाउन।
क्या उम्र होगी उनकी?
अभी एक 6 साल का है, एक 4 साल का है।
छोटे अभी? उनको आगे ट्रक ड्राइवर बनाना है बेटे को?
नहीं, कभी भी नहीं।
क्यों? आप
जो हमने झोंक लिया है हम उनको क्यों झोंकेंगे?
इतना भी क्या बुरा हाल है?
ना, ये ट्रक लाइन बहुत गंदी लाइन है बस।
क्यों गंदी क्यों है? आप
जो
देश के लिए
देखो, जो अगर पढ़े लिखे हैं, जो पढ़ लिखे जाएंगे वो कुछ और काम करेंगे, जो नहीं पढ़ेगा मजबूरी आके यही काम करना पड़ेगा।
वो तो है
बस।
तो है। लेकिन आप कभी सोचते हो कि आप देश के लिए कितने इम्पोर्टेंट हो? आज कोई भी फैक्ट्री है, कोई भी घर है, खाना तो आप ही वहाँ तक पहुँचाते हो।
कोई नहीं जानता इन चीज़ों को। हम जाए रात को मरें, दिन में चलें, कोई नहीं जानता इस चीज़ को। अब ये लगा लो, मनेसर वाला जो रोड चलता है ना,
हाँ,
उस पर एक सरकारी पंप है।
हाँ,
कम से कम वो 80 किलोमीटर पड़ जाता है।
बिल्कुल।
80 किलोमीटर के बीच में अगर कोई पंप, कम से कम 4 पंप होने चाहिए,
तो है।
और साइडों में पार्किंग भी होनी चाहिए। रोड तो बन गए हैं सभी जगह, और पार्किंग तो नहीं है ना करने के लिए। अगर रोड पे गाड़ी खड़ी करोगे रात को, पीछे से कोई आ रहा है वो ठोक देगा।
अब यही है।
हाँ।
अब यहाँ इतना बुरा है, ना नहाने का ना धोने का।
इस पार्किंग की बात कर रहे हैं, यहाँ बैठे हैं ना, यहाँ नहाने के लिए नहीं है। आज 10-11 दिन हो गए यहाँ पे।
लैटरिन पेशाब के नहीं है, जंगल में जाओ, सांपे काट लेगा बारिश के महीने में।
बताओ, इतनी बड़ी पार्किंग है।
हाँ, इसलिए पार्किंग किसी है? ये तो एयरपोर्ट की है।
एयरपोर्ट की है, एयरपोर्ट की है, पर उनको चाहिए ना भी इस चीज़ को करें,
कुछ तो करें। बिल्कुल।
पानी की सुविधा नहीं है।
पानी की सुविधा नहीं है।
पानी कहीं से भर के खाना बना लो।
पानी, खारा पानी कौन पिएगा?
कौन पी? हाँ,
खारा पानी कब तक पी लेंगे?
सही बात है।
बीमारी होंगे खारा पानी पी के, और ठंडा पानी को तो मिलेगा नहीं। अब अंदर जाएंगे तभी पानी मिल सकता है,
और अंदर जाने को मिलेगा?
अंदर जाने नहीं देंगे। जब गाड़ी जाएगी तभी जा सकते हैं अंदर।
तो
और एक बंदा,
अभी आपको कितने दिन हो गए यहाँ पर?
मेरे को तो 11 दिन हो गए
माल ही नहीं है कुछ?
ना, माल नहीं, वो 8 दिन खड़े रहे ना, खाली नहीं हुई थी ये।
अच्छा, खाली नहीं उस चक्कर में?
हाँ, 1-2 दिन वैसे खड़े रहे, 2-3 दिन यहाँ हो गया ऐसे। माल मूल नहीं निकल रहा कोई, सोमवार को निकलेगा, आज तो संडे है। बस सर टाइम पास कर रहे हैं।
बट कमाना भी है कुछ तो।
और क्या करें, घर जाके भी कुछ नहीं कर सकते। अब ये ड्राइवरी लाइन में पड़ गए हैं, घर जाके भी कोई काम नहीं कर सकते।
ड्राइविंग कैसे सीखे आप?
ड्राइवरिंग तो यही सीखी ना,
ट्रक पे।
हाँ।
उस्ताद थे आपके कोई?
हाँ, उस्ताद मेरे पूरे हो गए, ख़त्म हो गए।
Friends, welcome back to our interview segment. Last week we were talking to Mr. Mahendra Arya, National President, All India Transporters Welfare Association. This week we continue the conversation with Mr. Arya and talk to him more about what is the future of this industry, where is road transport headed for, and how is multimodal transport going to affect the future of the logistics segment on the whole. Here's continuing our conversation with Mr. Mahendra Arya. Sir, how has the road transport industry been on the whole currently, financially and operationally as well?
See, situation is not very comfortable, and main reason is the these corona effects. There have been lockdowns. Many industries are affected. People are affected. The movements are affected. For example, in Mumbai, people depend on the local train, but the local train is not easily available to people. So how do they report to the workplace? That's a problem. Then corona effects are, of course, there. Now and then there's a wave of corona, and the government comes out with a lockdown. So such things disturb the spirit and the speed of the business. And transportation is nothing but a reflection of the industry. If the industry is affected, then transportation is of course affected. So I'll not say that things are smooth now, though it is little better than what it was in the last year. But that depends on whether the third wave, which is being talked about, that strikes.
But is it also a matter of concern that a lot of share of goods is now moving to railways, and that too when DFC has not even come in?
That is, the government, I think, is gradually trying to reduce the dependence of the nation from the road transport. And of course, I will not say that there is anything wrong about it, because there is a huge infrastructure of railways which is available, and if the government can do it successfully at a cheaper price than the road transport, I think everybody is going to be happy.
So where does it leave road transport now?
See, road transport will always be there. It's not that the rail is going to wipe out the road transport. As I told you, there will be a multimodal kind of situation now. Every road transporter will have to engage with the railways, so that part of the distance is covered by the rails and the rest on both sides covered by the trucks. So that's not a bad situation. And if the efficiency can be increased by a multimodal method, I am all for it.
What about the relationship between the transport companies and the truckers? Both are very important spokes of the same wheel, but both are under a lot of stress currently. Is there any way that these two can get together and get better profits?
That's a very interesting question you have asked. Because a transport company and a trucker, both are essential part of the India's transport system. I'll say India, because in other countries, both are same. In India, those who are in the transportation business or who are dealing with the corporates, the government customers, or any customer for that matter, they focus on the administration and management of the total overall transportation along with added services. Whereas a trucker or truck owner, he focuses only on the point-to-point movement of the goods. So he becomes a part of the transportation service. Now, both have to share the overall profit which is possible. Some part will go to the truck owner, some part will go to the transport company. But there are two reasons. One, as I told you, there is a cutthroat competition, excess supply. Excess supply of trucks, I don't know whether it is there, but excess supply of transport companies, of course, is there, because people don't realize their costing and they go on undercoating and keeping the things on a burner all the time. But the other thing is, in the earlier days, if I say about 4 decades before, there was a system of brokers. The brokers were only the actual brokers. What is a broker? Who makes a deal happen and in turn gets some small amount for his services. which should be sufficient because his job is only of a communicator to both sides. There is no actual physical work involved for him. But gradually, the brokers have taken a larger space in this business. The gap between a trucker and a transporter kept on increasing because the truck owners, they are dealing with the broker only sitting at their place. Similarly, the transport company, they don't bother about the truck owner. They directly talk to the broker, and the importance of the broker kept on growing. As a result, that commission, which used to be few hundred rupees per trip, has now crossed many thousands. I have recently been doing some study about doing some business directly between the truckers and the transport companies without brokers. And we realized the gap was huge, as much as 7 to 8%. Can you imagine that? 7 to 8% going to a person who is nowhere in the movement cycle. So what will a transporter get and what will a truck owner get? Because you cannot imagine a windfall margin in a transport business. So that is one main reason which I have found. And now ATWA is again doing some effort to bring the two things together. Let the truckers and the transport companies, let them come together, let them shake hands. And then that 8% which is going in between to a third party can be shared between them or can reduce the cost, if not shared at all. And maybe a part of that will be useful for reducing the cost for the customer. And the government's dream why the logistics cost is high in the country, that will also come true. Even if we can reduce that 8% by 5% only, I think that 13% which is being talked about, that should come down to easily 8-9%.
AITWA has been indulging in a lot of study, and you have been mentoring a lot of young transporters to get together to do a lot of research. How is this process going on? And how's the involvement of these youngsters especially?
No, in between, say 10 years ago, there was a general feel that the next generation is not interested in the transport business. That is not the situation now. The next generation has also realized the importance of the transport business for the economy of the country. And they are big thinkers. Let me tell you, because of their education, they think a lot. And that's how they have come into picture. And their coming in has made a lot of difference. Technology is taking the forefront. The technologically, I think they are making big change. A lot of new things are coming. The efficiency level will go high. The cost reduction will take place. It's not that the additional technology means additional cost. It will mean addition of technology means reduction of cost. Many things are happening. I am very happy about these young people, and new startups are coming, and a lot of things are happening. So AITWA has always been encouraging. We have in AITWA we have a different type of approach. We don't believe in idolizing people. We don't make a god out of a person. I am a president. That doesn't mean that I should be present everywhere, whatever is required. My people are there. In Delhi, there are a lot of people who can handle things in Delhi. In Mumbai, again, we have a team. And that way, in every city, we have people. So let people work. So if we start working with just one person, one leader, maybe one or two people, I don't think anybody can achieve anything. And we have been promoting the talent. I'm very happy. We have been successfully doing it. We have got a lot of young people who are contributing immensely in the growth of AITWA.
That is excellent. Another big challenge that the industry would be facing very soon is the scrapping policy. What are your thoughts on that?
Scrapping policy as such, personally, I don't find that a very, big disturbance. Why? We are talking about disposing of the vehicles which are 15 years, 20 years old. So where is that vehicle running now? Of course, the mainstream logistic has no place for such vehicles as it is. No national permit vehicles are possible above 12 years. Cities are not allowing anything above 8 years inside. Then where is that running? that is running only at the agricultural level maybe, or things like this sand kind of thing. So it's a matter that somebody is making some money out of it. That is the concern part. There are poor people who cannot afford to buy a new vehicle, so he is having a vehicle which is purchased at a very low price and trying to meet his life. But I think he is also finding it difficult to meet his expenses, because a vehicle which is more than 15 years old, just imagine what kind of repair that will be asking. How many breakdowns will be there in every month? So I don't think it's a great idea for him to keep on running that, but because he has never thought of an alternative, that is why he's running it. If the government handles it properly, compensates him, that poor person should be compensated for his livelihood. It is not a matter of how much money he's going to get for the scrapage. It is a matter of how he will continue his livelihood. Government should think in those lines, give him his livelihood, maybe differently, in a different way, then remove these vehicles from the street. That will be that human angle is required. The compassionate thinking has to be done.
Sir, finally, given the current scenario and what we've gone through and what we will be facing, how do you see the future of road transport industry from here on?
See, this question I have always got one answer. The future is very bright. For one reason, that every other product or service may get substituted by something else. Not the road transport. The movement of the material will take place. The goods have to be moved. Goods have to be moved by different modes. That I agree. By train, by air, by ship, and by road. But everything has got its own benefits also. Air may be faster but very expensive. Trains, the connecting issue, it cannot connect every dot to dot, which the road transport can do. And the water, of course, has its own limitations. But all put together, I think will survive. So the road transport will always be the leader in all the four modes. They are going to lead. Maybe the ratio which was earlier 60-65%, that may come down to maybe a little bit, say up to 50%, 55%. But the rest of the 45% will be occupied by the different modes all put together. So future is definitely bright. The working system has to be proper. And I think the changes which are taking place, all the policies, they may look very nasty at the moment, but finally the quality will improve.
But do you think the transport industry will come together as one unit and approach the government and say, okay, this is the problem and this is the real solution we ask for, not concessions, but solutions?
Yeah, solutions. Actually, see, we have to change the approach. We cannot go on talking about the problems, because everybody has to solve his own problems. We have to engage with the government, not fight with the government. That combat attitude has to be changed. We cannot talk like a militant. हम ये करेंगे, वो करेंगे, strike कर देंगे, बंद कर देंगे, चक्का जाम. Nobody is interested and nobody gives value to any chakka jam now. The media, they make you a villain out of that. Even if your concerns are okay, your approach is not liked. So we have to engage with the government. The way government wants us to function, let us talk to the government. Once we are on the same wavelength, I think we can exchange the ideas. Government will also listen to us. And I feel they have also already started listening. The changes which are coming in, the smart enforcement, there is something coming as a smart enforcement. I've been the part of the committee. Mm-hmm. In that, the now and then where the interruption on the highway is taking place, now that they want to minimize using the technology. And the reasons are listed out, why the vehicle is stopped, for how many reasons. I think they listed out about 62 or something reasons. So most of them can be solved without stopping the vehicle. So that is being worked out. A lot of things are happening, and once they are really converted to the effect, there will be changes.
Thank you so much, sir. Friends, that was Mr. Mahendra Arya, and from what we hear, that the future of road transport is going to be very, very bright. The percentage share may go down, but the value will not. Thank you, and keep watching Trans India.
Thank you, Girish.
That's it from us this week. We hope you enjoyed watching Trans India, and once again we will request you to please subscribe to the channel and spread the message that here is India's first weekly news channel for road transport and commercial vehicles. And next week again we have some very exciting discussions. हम अक्सर कहते हैं कि यंगस्टर्स रोड ट्रांसपोर्ट इंडस्ट्री में नहीं आना चाहते हैं, लेकिन उनका क्या जो ऑलरेडी आ चुके हैं? What does the future hold for them? And how have they made their companies proud? How have they grown? Here's a quick glimpse of what you shall be seeing next week on Trans India. Keep watching.
Even my father told me either you become a truck driver or a cleaner, or you study. And I was also bad at studies. So what do you call me? Bola cleaner banega, no problem.
So I'll be very much honest, I never had a choice. Yeah, so I was very bad in studies. I just got a 2 option after my 12th standard. And that time we had a difficult, challenging time also. So there was a union in our company that time. So the company was going through a tough time and I got 2 choices. Either do well in your studies, या तो फिर धंधे पे आके बैठ जाओ.
So the story is very interesting. My father actually didn't want me to join the business. He said, this is not a line for honest, ethical people. The reputation of ours was very bad at the time because he also went through a lot of troubled times. So I'm brutally honest by nature. So he was quite scared that I wouldn't be successful in this line of work.